Today we're going to cover hill sprints, how to do them, why to do them, and how to get better at them. Included in this is going to be a program. So you sign up for the Josh Strength newsletter at the bottom of this link, and you're going to get, once you're a member of the newsletter, you will get mailed the hill sprint program. It shows you exactly how to progress everything. Hill sprints bring out something that you can't really get in the weight room, something that you can't really get on the track. All the guys that I know that worked out in the hill, they were a cut above the other competition around the league, and they had long careers, said Hall of Fame linebacker Mike Singletary. Why don't we hear more about hill sprints? I think there's a very simple reason for that. You don't hear about people on infomercials, celebrity trainers, and all the other woo-haws talking about it because they don't make money off it. The only thing hill sprints benefit is you. In professional football, in my opinion, arguably the best running back of all time, Walter Payton, used his primary modality of training the offseason was hill sprints. You carry the pigskin 30, times a game with finesse, with power, and he was just as fast in the fourth quarter as he was the first quarter. Jerry Rice was a receiver in the NFL, one of the best of all time, and that's a young man's position. It's not like a quarterback, kicker, or an offensive lineman just takes one step. I mean, that is a young man's position. Into his 40s, he dominated in the NFL, and he says, the hills that he ran was a large part of the reason why he dominated. So there comes to another point. The hill sprint can sort of be the fountain of youth for people. That's where this kind of brings. So a lot of times guys are going the wrong way, like getting rid of all the movement as they age. When if they introduced some more stuff, they could actually sort of like spur a fountain of youth. And especially if you were trained this way, you could be well into your 40s and beyond and be your best after this kind of stuff. And finally, I've used this a lot with tactical athletes. So when I talk about tactical athletes, I'm talking about military, law enforcement, and they cannot be on the injured reserve list. If they're not fast enough, it's not going to be, a win or a loss. It's like they don't get to go home and eat dinner with their family. So it's extremely important they stay healthy. Why we use hill sprints? Okay, there's a number of different reasons. We're going to cover some of the benefits right now. So safety. Okay, the reason we're talking about doing hill sprints over flat ground sprints is safety, large part, because your limbs never actually reach maximum speed when you run up a hill. So what this is a built-in safety mechanism for your hamstrings so you don't get injured. And one of the best ways to predict how fast you're gonna be is your strength to body weight ratio. Okay, so a lot of you guys are coming from a strength training background, so you have an extremely high strength to body weight ratio. So you have like this huge Hemi engine and this little Honda. You gotta be careful. So the hill sprint is gonna help save you. Okay, a functional strength. Lifting weights gets you stronger, and so does running hills. So the hills, they bridge the gap between the weight room and the track. That's huge for you. Okay, so the body positioning in a hill sprint is very similar to the acceleration phase of sprinting. So you talk about, people talk about functional training, transference. So all functional training means is transfer of training to what you're trying to attain. So by training that angle, it's about as specific as you can get. So the hill sprints, they teach your knees to pump high. They have to. If you're gonna go as fast as you can up the hill, you have to pump your knees. Okay, they teach aggressive shoulder action. Okay, so if you want to you have to get that aggressive shoulder action to maximize your acceleration. Okay, hill sprints, they're gonna build you mental toughness. Half speed is less than half results. You're gonna go all out on these. When you hear people saying, I did this workout, you sprint 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, they're so full of shit. If they had an enema, they'd die. The reason is because you can't sprint that long. So look at the fastest 100-meter times in the world. Then look up the fastest 200-meter times in the world. So already they're already slowing down on the 200 meters because you reach about maximum speed, about say 60 meters in, you can maintain it for 4 or 5 seconds. So they're already starting to slow down at that rate. So to actually be sprinting, it's impossible. They might be given a high effort, but they're not actually sprinting. So we're going as fast as possible. And so when these so-called longer rest intervals are really not that long if you're going all out and you have to go all out. And we do this over and over again, that's going to build you confidence. You're going to have testicular fortitude. Hill sprints are going to increase your conditioning and improve your body composition. Because you think about it, and you look at when you start to like introduce hills into things or add like additional weight to somebody, of how many more calories they burn, how much their heart rate increases and all that kind of stuff. And it's way higher. The metabolic demands sprinting up a hill is so much higher than doing it on flat ground. And from a fat burning standpoint, it's better too, because think about it, you're not gonna get the ultimate, fat burning from keeping your heart rate at a steady state. It's spiking it up, bringing it back down, spiking it up, bringing it back down. So that's gonna have an amazing effect on your body composition. You think about it, sprinters, a lot of times are some of the best built athletes in the world, in my opinion. So now we're gonna get into warming up for the hill sprints. Some of the benefits of a proper warm-up are improved performance, increased muscle contraction and relaxation speed, more efficient movement patterns, reduced muscle stiffness, improved oxygen utilization, improved motor unit recruitment for all-out activity, i.e. more coordinated movements with increased intensity. Some of the guidelines for hill sprints now, like always, warm up. The steeper the hill, the better the hill. And this should be a difficult hill to walk up, let alone sprint up. Trouble finding a hill? We at least know you got a smartphone or access to a computer if you're watching the video. So Google it, okay? So then now when you're actually sprinting, push your knees up. I don't want you clunking your heels on the ground. Do hill sprints after you lift weights or on an off day. Sprint means balls to the wall. Great results can be achieved twice weekly, and that's what you're gonna get with the PDF program included. Here's the warm-up we're gonna do is, we want to do about 5 minutes of moving around. So in this weather here, it could be a slight jog, brisk walk here. Just walk up and down this hill for 5 minutes. You got it covered. It's about 95 degrees right now. And it's gonna get hotter as the day goes because it's early right now. Okay, after that, we go into the dynamic stretching. For the dynamic stretching, we're gonna walk on your toes for 2 sets of 15 yards. Walk on your heels, 2 sets of 15 yards, okay? Then you do arm slings, 2 sets of 10 clockwise, 2 sets of 10 counterclockwise. Straight leg kicks, 3 sets of 15 yards. Leg swings, 2 sets of 15 reps. High knees, 3 sets of 15 yards. Walking lunges, 3 sets of 15 yards. Lateral lunges, 3 sets of 10 reps. Wrist sways, 3 sets of 15 each way. And twists in place, 3 sets of 15 each way. And finally, hula hoop swing, hula hoop with your hips, 2 sets of 10 each way. Then after that, we'll do a hill, run the hill at 60%, one at 70%, one at 80%, one at 90%, then boom, it's time to go. So what that means is, 60%'s a jog, 70%'s a little faster, 80%'s faster, 90% you're kind of like not quite hitting it all out, but you're right before that point where you've just fully hit the gas. Sprinting is one of the best ways to develop your glutes and your hamstrings. So I'm talking about full out sprint. Like, you do not activate those muscles to a very powerful extent unless you are going all out, full speed. I mean, look at the physique of a sprinter, then look at the physique of a jogger, and you see exactly what I'm saying. And we're not trying to go, total like some meditation, direction here, but a lot of people now are thrill seeking in today's world. They go to restaurants, they can't have a conversation and they're on their iPhone. It's like they're not fully engaged in Instagram, they're not fully engaged in dinner, they're not fully engaged in the conversation, like a little piece of attention everywhere. So what they do is they thrill seek, Hey man, there's this new course in Vegas. They shoot live ammunition, you swim through some great whites, and it, blah, blah, blah. Of course you have to concentrate fully. I went skydiving. Well, of course you concentrate in the moment then. It's the same thing here in hill sprints. If you go all out, you are fully concentrated in the moment, and that is how you're going to know yourself and just fully get to your deepest point and immerse yourself in the present moment by going all out in these hill sprints. There's nothing else like it.